Hi, for today's Schoology tip of the week, I want to show you how to use grading groups within Schoology. And to be clear, grading groups in the case that I'm going to demonstrate has nothing to do with the grade book. We don't need to use the Schoology grade book because we have our own, but there are some things that we can do with grading groups that are pretty cool. So in order to set up a grading group, I'm going to go to my course and I'm going to look for the members panel. So that's where I can see all of my students, and any teacher or co-teacher here would have the crown as an admin. And you'll see this gray box over here with the dashed lines. As I scroll over, it says Add Grading Group. I just click that. I select which students are going to go into each group. In this case, I'm going to number my groups because I'm being boring. But if you were doing maybe a long-term collaborative group project, you might consider letting your students name their teams, or pick a color or something to that effect. But I'm just going boring, group 1, 2, and 3. You'll see I'm just clicking this. I'm entering a name, and I'm just selecting which students become a part of that group. So I've got my 3 groups ready to go in the members section of my Schoology course. And these groups can be edited or deleted at any time. So you can use grading groups for one assignment and then disband the grading groups and move on to a different. As you look through your members list, you'll also see which group they're a member of now has been added underneath their names. So I'm going to go back into my materials and navigate into my course documents, which is where I would want this particular assignment to live. So in this scenario I'm imagining, I would have a big group project that I want, and each group has its own sort of set of information or set of directions that they're responsible for. So I'm going to go into Add Materials, Add Assignment, and this is going to be the Group 1 project. Now, I would probably have something to put in the description, but this is just a demo here. Just remember, this is a rich text editor here with the ability to insert all kinds of content, so you can make this really lively and interactive. I've already imagined this as a Google Drive assignment, so I'm going to go ahead and give Group 1 their documentation. And I'm going to give it a due date because I want it to show up on my calendar. And I have to give it a category because it's got a little star next to it as one of the required items. But it's here in these options where I'm going to find what I really need to use grading groups. And it's these 3 little dots here that say individually assign. When I turn that on, when I click it, it gives me this assign to. And now I can select Group 1 from the list. So now my students in Group 1, when they come to their Schoology course, they're only going to see the information they need for the Group 1 project. They're not going to see anything extra that they don't need. And what is really good about that is that I'm not asking them to search through any extra documents to find their particular assignment. So I can just really quickly go through here and continue to add the work for the remainder of my groups just by clicking that individually assign. Now, while I'm in the individually assign window again, keep in mind that if you didn't have grading groups, you could also do this with just individual students. If you consider what that could mean in the classroom, consider situations where you may have an assignment that you really only need one particular student or just a handful of students to access. Maybe it's makeup work, or you're letting them do test corrections, and there's only a select set of students that need this. You could create a grading group for those students, or you could consider just individually assigning the test corrections to them. It's just an example. You could also create a grading group for students who perhaps need extended time, and you could set the parameters a little broader for them. So there's a lot of ways that individually assign can give you the option to personalize what your students see. So now I see all 3 group projects, but my students only see the one that's relevant to them. So I think it's a great way to use that grading group. And there's one other thing I want to show you really quickly while we're here. So I want to show you under course options that I can view the course as one of my students, just to show you. So my student Carrie Ann here, sees in her materials and course documents upcoming right there, Group 1 project. She doesn't see anything else but that group project that she needs. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great week, everyone.